20 years ago, watching a movie was not as easy as it is today. You had to follow TV schedules, go to the cinema, or buy a movie. Then, 5 companies came along and changed everything. This is how the era of streaming platforms began. The story behind the company in the second spot on this list is especially fascinating. Enjoy the video. At number 5 on the list is Netflix. It was founded in 1997. If you've watched my previous video, you may already be familiar with the Blockbuster story. Reed Hastings had rented the DVD of Apollo 13, but due to a series of unfortunate circumstances, he returned it 6 weeks late. For that delay, he paid Blockbuster a $40 late fee, and the experience frustrated him immensely. Soon afterward, he founded Netflix. Of course, that's actually a legend. Years later, Hastings and co-founder Mark Randolph admitted that the story wasn't entirely true. Even if the story was fictional, the disappointment behind it was completely real. Hastings and co-founder Randolph envisioned Netflix as a DVD-by-mail service with a flat monthly subscription and no late fees. The business model proved to be a huge success. In January 2007, Netflix launched its streaming service. At the time, it offered around 1,000 titles as a free bonus for existing subscribers. It was still a young brand, and no one knew what its future potential would be. Over the following years, Netflix defeated both the DVD rental business and traditional television. One of the most important milestones in Netflix's history came in 2013 with the release of its first major original series, House of Cards. The series received 33 Emmy nominations. It proved to the entire world that a technology company could create content capable of competing with Hollywood's very best. After years of almost flawless growth, Netflix finally encountered a major problem in 2022. For the first time, the company faced a serious setback. Password sharing had become widespread, and subscriber numbers were declining. Its stock price had also dropped significantly. Then Netflix made a smart move. The company cracked down on password sharing while introducing a cheaper ad-supported subscription plan. It was a brilliant strategy that put Netflix back on top. At the same time, the company invested more heavily in live events, including NFL games and major boxing matches. By the end of 2025, Netflix had 325 million paid subscribers worldwide and generated $45.2 billion in annual revenue. None of its competitors are even close. Netflix didn't invent streaming, it perfected it. That was the story of Netflix. At number 4 on the list is Disney. It launched its streaming platform in 2019. When Disney introduced its streaming service in November 2019, it already owned one of the strongest content libraries in the world. Here are just a few examples from its portfolio: Marvel, Star Wars, Pixar, National Geographic, and classic Disney animations dating all the way back to the 1920s. The launch was nearly flawless. On the very first day, so many people tried to subscribe that the servers crashed. It made headlines all around the world. Disney had originally projected that Disney Plus would reach between 60 and 90 million subscribers by 2024. Instead, it achieved that goal in just 16 months. The speed of its growth caught the attention of the entire industry. Disney Plus reached 100 million subscribers, much faster than Netflix had. Even more impressively, it accomplished this in a far more competitive market than the one Netflix had entered. The platform reached its peak in late 2022 with 164 million subscribers. At that point, it had become the world's second largest streaming platform. Then they made a critical mistake. They aggressively increased prices while reducing the number of original productions. As a result, subscriber numbers began to decline. By early 2025, the platform had stabilized at around 125 million subscribers. Financial problems continued to grow. Disney lost money on the platform for years. To turn things around, Disney invested billions of dollars into content and infrastructure by the end of 2024. In 2024 alone, Disney Plus generated $10.4 billion in revenue. It was a huge gamble, but it paid off. That was the story of Disney. At number 3 on the list is HBO Max. It launched in 2020. This is the most unusual journey on the list. HBO had already established itself as one of the most respected brands in television history. The company had produced legendary series such as The Sopranos, The Wire, and Game of Thrones, productions that received worldwide acclaim. In 2020, Warner Media launched HBO Max to bring all of this content together on a single paid streaming platform. 2 years later, Warner Media merged with Discovery to form Warner Bros. Discovery, under the leadership of CEO David Zaslav. Then the controversy began. Zaslav canceled completed films and even removed finished television series from the platform in order to receive tax benefits. Some productions that had taken years to create and cost hundreds of millions of dollars simply disappeared overnight. The entire world was shocked by these decisions. In 2023, the platform was renamed from HBO Max to simply Max, removing the HBO name entirely. The reason was that HBO had become closely associated with prestige programming aimed at adult audiences, while the company wanted to emphasize that it now offered a much broader range of content, including reality shows and family entertainment. Every move they made was complicated. Many people considered it a major mistake. By the end of 2024, the platform had reached 117 million subscribers across all of its streaming services. Throughout 2024, Warner Bros. Discovery added 19 million new subscribers and announced a goal of reaching 150 million by the end of 2026. It has been a turbulent journey filled with complicated decisions, but one driven by a clear vision. That was the story of HBO Max. At number 2 on the list is Apple TV+. It launched in 2019. Apple introduced its streaming platform on November 1, 2019, with a monthly subscription price of just $4.99. At the time, it was the lowest subscription price among all major streaming platforms. That alone attracted enormous attention. Perhaps it was an incredibly smart strategy. According to many observers, Apple's approach was completely different. Apple wasn't trying to compete in the streaming industry in the traditional sense. It didn't have a massive content library or a catalog of classic movies and television shows. Its advantage was originality. Every title on the platform was completely original. The logic was simple. Apple already had more than 1 billion active devices in people's pockets and living rooms. It didn't need to win the streaming wars. In fact, it never intended to. It simply needed to offer a service attractive enough to keep existing customers inside the Apple ecosystem and encourage them to continue buying Apple hardware. How would such a simple but intelligent strategy turn out? Apple spent billions of dollars on original productions. At first, it looked as though it had lost the game. Then came one project, Ted Lasso. It won the Emmy Award for Outstanding Comedy Series. Later, Coda won the Academy Award for Best Picture, making Apple the first streaming platform ever to win that honor. Things were looking much better. Then, Severance became a cultural phenomenon. Rather than building a massive library, Apple TV Plus created a small but exceptionally high-quality collection by succeeding with one remarkable production at a time. As of 2024, it had approximately 45 million subscribers, making it the smallest platform on this list. It was also losing more than $1 billion every year. However, for Apple, a company that generated $391 billion in revenue and $93.7 billion in profit during 2024 alone, that figure was almost insignificant. Apple TV Plus isn't really a streaming business. It's a device sales business wearing the costume of a streaming platform. Its strategy is brilliant enough to earn respect. That was Apple's story. At the top of the list is Amazon Prime Video. It was launched in 2006. Amazon quietly introduced its streaming service in 2006 as a feature included with its Prime membership program. At the time, Prime's primary purpose was to provide free 2-day shipping on Amazon purchases. It was a transition from a completely different industry. Video streaming was merely a secondary feature. Over the years, that secondary feature would grow into one of the largest streaming platforms in the world. Amazon's strategy was the exact opposite of every other company on this list. Netflix built its entire business around streaming. Disney built a content empire. Apple created Apple TV Plus to help sell iPhones. Amazon, on the other hand, created Prime Video to sell Prime memberships. And the purpose of Prime memberships was to sell more products through Amazon.com. As of 2024, Amazon Prime had more than 200 million subscribers worldwide. Approximately 70% of those members use Prime Video, even though the majority of their users didn't subscribe primarily to watch videos. In 2024, Amazon introduced advertisements on Prime Video and automatically moved all subscribers to the ad-supported plan. Users who wanted an ad-free experience had to pay an additional $2.99 per month. Amazon spent $17 billion on content in 2024. Its original series, The Boys, Reacher, and Fallout became global successes. Amazon transformed what was once considered an insignificant feature into a global powerhouse. The reason it ranks at the top of this list is because its strategy is arguably the most ingenious of them all. That was Amazon's story. Now you know the stories behind all 5 platforms. We've reached the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. There are hundreds more stories waiting to be told. Thank you for watching.